What's going on, America? I am Graham Allen, and welcome to the newest episode of the Dear America podcast. This episode, some people did something, and we're going to talk about the idiocracy that is that statement and the media firestorm that happened over whether or not 9/11 was done by terrorists. We're going to talk about the issues that are going on in Congress and the horrificness of the Democratic Party being drones. We're also even going to talk about all male colleges accepting transgender men. Sit back, relax. This one's going to sting, and welcome to the newest episode of the Dear America podcast. Hey! What's going on, America? What's up, guys?
Not much.
Not much. Are you kidding me? Have you paid attention at all? The entire world is on fire.
A whole bunch.
And we've got freaking terrorists in Congress.
That's right.
Did I say that?
You did.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, we're going to get pulled off the air. Look, guys, thank you so much for listening to this newest episode of the Dear America podcast. Ooh, I like Jake's sound effects. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about today, so we're probably going to jump right into it. But I just wanted to say really quick, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for contributing to this podcast. If you are listening right now, make sure that you subscribe and rate us. We would love to get to 1,000 ratings in the first month, and we are so close.
We're getting there.
We are super close, and we thank you guys.
Yeah,
so
really
we're going to
appreciate
jump right into it, guys.
Game of Thrones is on.
Oh, God.
No, that's not where we were going.
You see there? That's
was
why. See what happens when you give a little bit to
Jesse's
people.
excited.
That's my point. You give a little bit to people, and they think they're famous all of a sudden.
Dylan's excited.
And then they start jumping into it. No, it's not Game of Thrones, even though everybody was freaking out over that. If you paid attention at all, Jesse, why is your hand still up? You have the white power symbol going on. What is wrong with you?
That is not. That's
That's
Game
the
of
Black
Thrones.
Panther. That's Black Panther.
It's
symbol.
both. It's both.
Game of Thrones.
Eventually, we're going to go to video so you guys can see what's going on. But either way, let's jump right into it here. All right. So last week, the freaking world got set on fire because
Tell us more.
some people did something.
Huh?
That statement set the entire world on fire. Now, I don't want to spend the entire episode talking about what Ilhan Omar said, because if you're knowledgeable at all, you know what we're talking about. But let's play devil's advocate and let's brief people on. If you have no idea what we're talking about, the title of this episode gives it away. But to say it really quick, last week, Ilhan Omar was videotaped speaking at an event of which she talks about the fact that this organization was founded after 9/11, where some people did something. That's what she said, and the entire world lost their mind. I don't so much want to talk about that because everybody knows what she said, and everybody knows that it just infuriated probably 70 to 80% of America,
Right.
especially New Yorkers, except for AOC. But we'll get into that in a
Even
minute.
the New York Post.
Even the New York Post. When the New York Post comes after you and you are a Democrat, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay?
You did something wrong.
The world is over at that point. You and Jussie Smollett are in the same category right this second. All right? All right.
Jesse?
But I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about what she said. I want to talk about the 2 or 3 days after. Okay? After she said that, representatives come out and they talk about how infuriating it is. America loses their mind. And then I want to talk about the ridiculousness that happened after it. So let's start with Dan Crenshaw. Okay. We're all real big fans of Dan Crenshaw here. All right. We, I would like to consider us friends. We talk on a semi-regular basis. Dan comes out and he says that basically it's ridiculous that we have a sitting member of Congress that would not identify these people simply for what they are, terrorists, right? So then AOC comes out in her majestic form that she is, and she goes on to say that Dan Crenshaw should stop worrying about Ilhan Omar, and Dan Crenshaw should go and do something about domestic terrorism.
Man, she is so smart.
Look, okay, all right. The guy is not only a Navy SEAL, he lost a freaking eye in combat fighting against terror, okay?
I would pick a lot of other things to lose like a hand before I'd want to lose an eye. That's a sacrifice.
I think losing any kind of body part is probably a sacrifice, Jake.
Well, sure, but I mean, geez, an eye.
Hey, man, look, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But he's embracing it, man.
Yeah,
It's working for him. I called him a majestic freedom pirate on my video.
Which caught on.
And it caught on.
I like that.
We
That
got
was the
so
best.
many tags. People in Dan Crenshaw's administration were texting me talking about how many people had written in about that. Dan, if you're listening to this, we could make so much money on shirts, bro.
Yes.
We could make
Sure.
so much
I would
money.
wear one.
Majestic Freedom Pirate shirts. But that's not the point. The point is AOC comes on here and she says something ridiculous. How stupid you have to be to tell a combat wounded Navy SEAL that he needs to go do something about terrorism. Are you a moron?
I actually have the exact tweet. if
There you
want
go.
me to
Yeah, read it. Read
So she says things, and then she goes on and says, in 2018, right-wing extremists were behind almost all U.S. domestic terrorist killings. Why don't you go do something about that?
The man has. I think he deployed, 8, 9 times? The man has.
Sometimes I'm not sure she thinks before
She was a
writes.
bartender, okay?
She gets fed what she's supposed to
I'm
say.
not degrading the profession of bartending. I'm not. I'm not saying that a bartender can't become a congresswoman. What I'm saying is if you've got 2 members of Congress side by side, yes, they're both congressmen or women, but when it comes to fighting terrorism, the bartender congresswoman on one side and the combat wounded Navy SEAL congressman on the other side, one has a little bit more clout in the I fought terrorism
Yeah.
department
Well, that's why I
than the
don't feel like she
freaking
thinks
bartender.
through what she
Are you
writes.
kidding me? Have you lost your mind, you psychopathic woman?
Yep.
She needs to have someone filter everything that comes out of her mouth. She needs to have an interpreter. That's what she needs. She needs to speak in the ear of someone what she's thinking, and then that person who is logical and not dumb can then recycle it through a logical thought process and then speak what she actually meant.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a slap in the face to our veterans. It is absolutely a slap in the face to Dan Crenshaw. It is horrible what happened.
And see, they swayed it from that. Like, we're upset about what Ilhan Omar said, about 9/11, but AOC comes on and says this is inciting violence against progressive women of color. So they go back to that victim.
God, she's stupid.
It's like, what? This is about what she said about Elizabeth Warren could have said it, and we would have been fighting the same battle. It has nothing to do with Ilhan being a progressive woman of color.
I want to say, and forgive me, my voice is going out. So if I sound like a pubescent woman at some point, I apologize. I want to read really quick. I was texting Dan throughout the weekend, and I asked him specifically, is there anything you want me to get across in this podcast today? He couldn't call in because he's got things going on. So I'm going to just read the text verbatim, what he said back to me. All right. So this is from Dan Crenshaw. All right. Basically, he says, I would keep hammering on this speech is violence narrative. It was interesting to watch their steps. First, they came after me for not supporting 9/11 victims, supposedly. That backfired. Then they said we are just criticizing her because she is a woman of color, like Jake just said. Then they went with inciting violence. They literally tried everything except defending the argument itself. It is a truly vicious way to go about arguments.
Yeah.
I agree completely, right? So violence, inciting violence, speech, freedom of speech, things like that. Here's what's going on right now. We live in a society where if someone says something in contention of you, or if someone calls you out for anything, they now say, well, you're inciting violence against me. You are inciting violence. Reciting what you said, like literally repeating the words back to you, is not inciting violence. That's simply repeating what you said. If it in turn incites violence, maybe you should look in the freaking mirror and go, what actually did I say that's making everyone so mad? This entire situation bothers me because the Democratic Party in Congress right now, this is going to get us kicked off the podcast network at this point, but I'm going with it because I am truly, truly, truly upset. I watched every single high-profile Democratic person in the Congress, in the Senate, everything say, well, this this is inciting violence. Donald Trump post a video in see, I can't even talk. I'm getting so mad. In contrast of Ilhan Omar's comments, then showing the towers being struck.
Yeah.
They say that was a complete, vicious, irresponsible thing for the president to do. Last time I checked, President Trump was a New Yorker, so it's especially a sensitive subject to him. He was walking on the grounds of it the day it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He comes out, he's mad, and he should be mad because as Americans, this cannot stand.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me? You want to say some people did something because your faith and religion is Muslim at the same time? No, chick, you don't get that. As an American, you don't get to do that. You say what it is. It was terrorism. Those people were cowards. They deserved to burn in whatever religious hell you think they deserve to burn into. They were horrible people, and you deserved to be called out.
All she had to do was put the word horrible at the end of that. Like, some people did something, and she had opportunities to come back and say, yes, it was horrible, it was terrible, and she never did.
Yeah.
So let me caveat off that, because I was reading through some
caveat,
tweets.
we got a comment. Caveat.
Oh, it's not
We got a
caveat.
segue.
Let me
Segue.
You know
Sorry.
what? Just to make them mad, I'm going to caveat off that.
There you go, caveat.
And,
We like our comments.
someone, I'm not going to say who, just posted under, and she said, everyone has literally taken her comments out of context, talking about Omar. She was discussing how a small group of people committed a horrendous act of terror, and then an entire community was blamed for it. It's important to remember where she came. She goes on. She says, basically, nobody who agrees with her is nothing more than a troll. You using a sentence, completely out of context to demonize, dehumanize, and attack an American woman, talking about Omar, and her community. But here's what I have to say to that, because I try to look at both sides. Y'all know
we
this.
knew what she was trying to say.
No, we didn't.
No, wait. I try to look at both sides, right? Here's the thing. She doubled down. She never went back and said, I'm sorry, that was out of context.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that was a horrible day. Everyone just doubled down on it, and that's why I try to look at both sides, and then I came to the conclusion, nope, this ain't right.
And what about these other tweets that she has? Israel has hypnotized the world. Oh, she just misspoke. Jews control our politicians. Oh, she just misspoke.
No, Nancy Pelosi says she doesn't understand words.
Yeah.
That's what that was. But back to what you said, Alyssa, that person that commented, she is actually the one that is taking out of context what she said. She is inserting words that she did not say. She did not say that horrible people did this horrible thing. She said some people did something.
Well, no, that's the point, though. And then she never went back. And AOC, all of them just doubled down on that. Like, nope, it's because she's a woman of color.
What if we did that to the New Zealand guy? It's like a white New Zealand guy, he did something, and then white people,
Look, here's
me?
Here's the point, guys, and this is probably going to be the viral part of the clip because this is really going to upset some people. Okay, there is no attack on women of color.
Oh my goodness!
Shut your freaking mouth.
Serious.
You want to say that there's an attack on Muslims in America? What was President Obama's religion?
You can go ahead and say it.
I'm just saying, what is your religion? And you are a freaking sitting congresswoman in Congress. Shut up. You are the one that is inciting violence, period. Here's another thing. Innocent people that didn't mean what they said don't do the actions that she has done, okay? If she truly had a word mess up or a brain fart or a mouth dump or whatever they call it, where you just say, what?
I don't like that. Go ahead.
What? It is like you just dumped it out there.
Thank you. I got
and then
it.
you just
Got the picture.
Yep.
really? Are we seven? Are we seven? Are we seven? Are we seven? All right.
25,
what I'm
actually.
saying is, if she had truly just messed up, all right, it happens.
Right.
Okay, it's a live event. You don't get a take back. Sometimes you mess up. If she had truly said something, she was like, "Oh crap, I see why they're upset." She would simply come out and say, "Look,
I misspoke.
that is not what I meant." Okay, obviously. The cowards that did 9/11 were horrible, soulless, gutless terrorists. Everybody probably would have been fine.
That's my point, though.
But that's
then
not
they
what she
doubled down,
did.
And then they went after Dan on top
She
of that.
played the victim card. If cops break into a room and I'm standing there with a dead body in the room, If I'm innocent, I don't go, oh, you're inciting violence against me, and this is an attack against me because I'm a white dude. Because I'm a white dude, I obviously killed the guy. Oh, you're so racist, da-da-da-da-da. No, I would proclaim my innocence. No. That is not me. This is not what it looks like. Let me explain.
Right,
See what I mean?
exactly.
No, then she doubles down. Then they play the victim narrative, and they play the victim card to further try to divide this country and make it seem like there's a race problem, which there's not. The most racist group in America is the Democrats and the people that claim that there's racism in America.
Right.
Ilhan Omar has done several things, and we're fixing to move on off of her because it's driving me nuts. And then I want to get to my main point of what's really going on. This is some of the things that she said here recently in layman's terms. She's called Israel evil. She's accused Jews of dual loyalty. She's minimized 9/11 by saying some people did something, said Israel's support is all about the Benjamins, baby.
I heard
and now she's going along saying that the only people attacking her are racist.
Yeah.
And then it goes like this. Now, this is the big part I want to talk about. One is the Democratic Party is run by 3 people now. You ready for it? And I deem them the mean girls of Congress. AOC, Cortez. I've heard that she finds it disrespectful just to call her Cortez, so that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to call her Cortez.
Cortez.
All right? Because that is her last name. I don't care if you hyphenate crap or not. That's your last name, Cortez. All right? Period. All right? Taib or Talib, however you say it, because it's like T-L-A-I-B. Talib, whatever her name is, and Omar. Okay? Everything that happens in the Democratic Party lives and breathes and starts and finishes with those 3 people, period. Okay. Nancy Pelosi has come out and said straight up that they are the progressive side. And there's only like 5 of them. And even the 60-minute people are like, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? Because it seems to me like you're just recycling everything they said. I counted it. Every prolific member of the Democratic Party tweeted the exact same thing. That the president's post about Ilhan Omar was an inciting violence against her because they're upset because she's receiving death threats.
Yeah, Trump has never received a death
He
threat.
hasn't had any.
No.
Or any president.
I'm going to say it right
President
now.
Obama, President
Who
Bush.
freaking cares that you're receiving death threats? You know how many death threats I get every single day? Do you have any clue?
lot of trolls.
Join the club, chick.
Yeah.
You are a public figure, member of Congress that said something so... It's just so
Repulsive.
completely repulsive and dumb. Of course,
But-
you freaking are getting death threats because you said something stupid. That's not, look, is it a good thing? Absolutely not. It is a horrible thing, and it's a sad state we live in America where you receive death threats for your opinions. I'm not saying that that's justifiable. I'm saying join the freaking club, chick, because everybody does. And because you're a member of Congress, your death threats somehow outweigh all the rest of the public figure death threats. You're not special.
Yeah.
The president gets death threats every day.
But you have
Shut
to remember,
up.
AOC wrote, though, I'm reading it right now, members of Congress have a duty to respond to the president's explicit attack today. Omar's life's in danger. For our colleagues to be silent is to be complicit in the outright dangerous targeting of a member of Congress. We must speak out. So I don't understand. It's kind of the pot calling the kettle black if you think, we're inciting violence, but you're sitting there saying the exact same thing.
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't make sense.
I did a tweet the other day, and it took off. It got a lot of feedback saying the exact same thing that Alyssa just said. I think I said something like breaking. Democratic leaders are in voting. What is in voting? I don't even know what that is.
I like it.
We're making
roll with it.
We're making
You're
up
voting.
words here.
You're so upset.
I am upset today because this bothers me, guys, because this is what's going on. I said Democratic leaders are inciting violence against our president by calling him a racist, a bigot, telling everybody he's an Islamophobe, that you are causing death threats or ill-tempered responses towards the president of the United States. So you're doing the very thing that you're accusing other people of.
Yeah.
I think that we've beat this horse to death. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going on in America. And if you're not paying attention, and if you're believing the lie that America is this racist place, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You are. It's not true. Are there racists in this country? Yeah, there's racists everywhere. Period. This is the real world, baby. This is how it works. People aren't going to like you. People are going to be unfair to you. People are going to judge you by whatever sex you are, whatever gender you are. That's not just America. That's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a perfect world we live in. America is the best place, period. You have the best chance for success, the best chance to be whatever you want to be here. Shut your mouth and be thankful that you live in the greatest country in the world. Somebody give me another topic. I'm about to blow a gasket.
You want me to? Okay, well, you want to do something funny?
Sure. Let's change the tone.
A little bit lighter, maybe? All right, so picture this. Here's a story. A blogger who released an emotional video after her Instagram account was deleted has said she called the police because it felt like somebody had murdered her.
Oh.
So she actually called the police. Jessie Taylor was distraught when her account was taken down following a string of complaints. She said it was her only source of income. And basically, she was not fit to work a 9-to-5 job. She couldn't do it.
I saw that.
That's awesome.
I thought that it was hilarious. I watched the video probably about 10 times. I did.
She really said, quote, I felt like it was a homicide, like somebody murdered me, and then went online to say, I murdered this girl.
Look, man, as the fact that this is my job now, social media, I get it, right? Like, that would really, really, really suck. However, I feel like we're in a good spot because I had a lot of jobs before I did this, not just the military, but I mean, I worked at like Sonic, I worked at a restaurant, I worked at a car dealership, I worked at Lowe's, I worked at a movie theater. I worked a lot of jobs before I did this.
Which was the best job ever. If you ever can work at a movie theater,
Yes.
I highly recommend that.
Yeah, it really was a good job. But the point is this is what happens when you don't raise your kids the right way. That's just how I feel, okay? Alyssa automatically gave me an eye the second I said that. What is he doing here? I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how good of a life you provide for your kids. Don't give them crap. Don't give them nothing, man. The second that they get old enough to get a job, tell them you ain't giving them no money.
Yeah.
Go to work and stop being lazy because this is what can happen. We live in a society now where there's what's the word? Unconventional ways to make money, right? Okay, like obviously, who would have ever thought that you could make more money than most people do on the internet?
Right.
Really? I mean, who would have ever thought that had become a thing? But it has. But not making your kids do regular, normal jobs early in life sets them up for failure, okay? Because social media is fleeting. It really is. At any point, Facebook could decide to take us off, or at any point, Facebook could go under, and we would all be scred.
We love you, Facebook.
We love you.
Don't go anywhere.
No, well, hold on. We don't, Anyway, what I'm saying is, but every single one of us would be okay because we have resumes, we have job references, we know what it's like to work a real job. Parents.
Oh, yeah.
Be real parents.
Yeah, I agree. You can encourage, if it's social media, great, encourage that, but have other skills too. Because she literally says that she has, quote, I have no skills. I would never be work material, so stop reporting me.
That's awesome.
But that's my point, right? This is what we're doing. So let's jump on other ridiculous things that are going on. Jay.
Sanctuary cities. That fun stuff. Did you see Cher's?
We love immigrants.
Did you see Cher's tweet?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't. Share with me.
She basically is saying how she understands caring for immigrants and all that, but her city, Los Angeles, isn't taking care of its own. What about the 50,000 plus citizens who live on the streets? People who live below poverty line and hungry. If my state can't take care of its own, how can it take care of more?
You know what that is?
Welcome to being a Republican.
Well, first of all, okay, I've seen a lot of people say that. Welcome to being red-pilled, Cher. Welcome to the team.
It's kind of funny.
Da-da-da-da-da. I don't know if that's true. Cher's probably going to come out and be like, whoa. I am not conservative. I hate conservatives, da-da-da-da.
But that's common sense.
But what
Good
she
job, Cher.
said was common sense, which is the narrative of the conservative party, right? So let's put that into perspective here. I don't believe Cher's been red-pilled. No. I really don't. She's nuts.
She also said, though, those who can must take a dreamer into their home and protect them. I'm ready to do this, and others in my business will do the same.
Take a dreamer?
Yeah, sanctuary, which, by the way, I think it's kind of a bad idea to do the sanctuary cities thing that Trump is doing, but I hope that it's something like the tariffs with China. Not a great idea, but look, it worked out. China buckled down and they said, okay, we'll drop your rate, right? So the sanctuary cities thing, I think he's pressuring these cities to either change the law or whatever, because that's going to release a whole bunch of potentially bad people still into the United States.
This is how backwards.
Playing a game of chicken.
This is how backwards we've become on immigration. Okay, and I'm going to prove one of my points by talking about a different article, but it's related to immigrants. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. So our country is so backwards on what's happening. It makes no sense. You know the phrase you can't live outside your means.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That doesn't apply in America, though, does it?
Well, I mean, but it's a real thing. Like we have people buying houses they can never afford.
That's
we have
my
people
point.
going to college for jobs that make maybe 30 grand a year, but they get 150 grand in debt before they even start their job. Okay. Illegal immigration is the same thing. You can't live outside your means, right? If America can't even take care of what's going on at home, how can we take care of illegal immigrants? So this brings me to my point. This is from Fox News. New York Dems block bill expanding college tuition for Gold Star families. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Gold Star family is, that's a family who has lost a service member in combat. Okay? New York Dems block bill expanding college tuition for Gold Star families after approving $27 million in tuition aid for illegal immigrants.
Wow.
Bless America.
That's the world that we live in right now. Is that we live in a world where we want to take care of people who are not really Americans.
But hang on.
As long as you
hang
get their
on.
vote.
But that's my point. It's
Yep.
not. Is it really about immigrants? Is it really about Gold Star families? Which we thank you so much, Gold Star
about
families.
power.
But it's about power, and I don't understand how people like common sense would show you this. Just look. Just look, and you see
16-year-olds,
it
illegal
in
immigrants.
prison. I mean,
in
it's about
prison.
the vote, and that's what's
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
It's so obvious, too.
It is.
I just think that any rational person from the outside looking in, how you can justify taking care at all people who are not American citizens. Let me just be completely blunt and honest. I know, shocker at this point. Just because you hop a border doesn't mean you're an American.
No.
Just because you step foot on American soil doesn't mean that you're entitled to the same rights and privileges as Americans. Okay? You are confusing morality with politics at this point. I mean, look, here's the simple truth, okay? American citizens are entitled to inalienable rights. That's what we fought for. That's what we bled for. That's what we died for, okay? You can't just say that, oh, well, everybody's an American now.
Right.
What? No, they're not. Period. Cat Williams said it best. No, we're better than you. we are Americans. No.
Yeah, why does everybody want to come here in
Because
droves?
we have the best everything.
Yeah.
Period. Are
Best
we perfect?
opportunities.
Absolutely not. But it goes along the same premise, and I use this all the time. People go, "Oh, Graham, that's such a generic overstep of what's really going on." No, it's not. No, it's not. If you can hop a fence and become an American citizen, then I should be able to walk into a hospital, put a doctor's coat on, be a doctor. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing. Absolutely same thing. No, I didn't go to school. I didn't earn the right to be a doctor. Well, these people didn't go through the legal process to become an American citizen, so they don't deserve it. Period.
Yeah.
And people want to be emotion and all this other stuff and say, well, that's so mean and that's not fair. It's not supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be legal. Period. And legal is not always fair. It's not. Should little babies that are just trying to run away from tyranny and all this stuff be able to be protected? Of course they should. But there's processes.
Yeah.
There are processes in place for a reason.
And I think that's what keeps being overlooked. They're not closed. It's just a legal way to come over, and there is a process.
Right.
And so
the children are being used too.
Well,
like
that too.
they find out that their parents aren't really their parents. It's like,
Right.
That's despicable, man. Like you're just using a kid. Yeah, we're his parents, and
We live in a country of hypocrites.
Yeah.
And speaking about hypocrites, let's change the flow just a little bit and bring it around to something that I find hilarious and talk about one of my favorite presidential hopefuls, Bernie Sanders.
Oh,
All
Bernie, what do you
Bernie
do?
Sanders.
I'm a millionaire.
First of all, I got to give a shout out to my buddy Chad Prather. Somebody posted a tweet and it said, on this day, the Titanic struck the iceberg. And Chad said, Bernie was 57. So I thought that was... I
do not
That
find
was
that
good,
funny.
thought
Chad.
that was really good. And then another person tweeted that said, something hit something. And then another person said something about Abraham Lincoln getting shot, and it said somebody shot someone.
Oh man, that's pretty good though.
Dude, it's been trending, man. People are really taking this Omar thing, and they're
rolling with
Tiger Woods won the Masters, and somebody said somebody putted something. All right. Anyway,
congrats, Tiger. That was huge.
Congrats, Tiger. Look, man. Hey. I used to make a joke and said when they found out he was sleeping with all those porn stars and everything, and then he started losing, I was like, they took his superpower away. Like, obviously, cocaine and hookers was his superpower to winning, because the second that they found out and they took it from him, he started sucking
Did you see that other meme? It said his like mugshot, Obama's America, and then him in the green jacket, Trump's America.
Anyway, congrats, Tiger. Everybody loves a good comeback story. Hey, good for you, man. You know, you obviously, from a Christian's perspective, you took a dark, dark road. You got caught. You hit rock bottom. You dug yourself back up, and now you're number one again. Congrats. But back to Bernie Sanders.
Back to Bernie.
All right. So Bernie Sanders got hit in the mouth a couple times, not literally, figuratively.
By a shower door?
I think his wife's abusive. Anyway, all right. No, people were like, Bernie Sanders, you're a millionaire. And then he goes on to say, I didn't realize it was a crime to write a book and become a millionaire off of a book. And you're right, it's not a crime. It's called capitalism, you moron.
Yeah.
The very things you claim to hate. Under Bernie Sanders' ideas of socialism, that book should have been free. And he should have given it out for free, and he shouldn't have made a dime off of it. In fact, he probably should have given his money to help people obtain the book in which to read. But no, he profited off of what? Capitalism. That's why you're a millionaire, you putz. Shut your mouth. God, do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? Do you see how just ridiculous it is? You are going against the very thing that's the only reason you're a millionaire. You have three houses.
But again, what's it really about? Money and power.
It's like the walls. You know, Obama and Pelosi have walls around their house. You know, the 1%'s the problem, except Bernie can be a millionaire. You know, planes and cows are causing global warming.
Can you just talk in your Bernie accent?
Do Bernie. Call Bernie real quick, Jake. Real quick. Yes, I'd like to speak to Bernie Sanders.
I am Bernie Sanders. I am a millionaire because I sold a book.
Get out of here, you socialist commie. You get out.
Socialist showers.
All right.
Hitting me in the face.
Let's jump off of politics for a minute. Let's jump into culture here for a second. And I want to put this out to, this is going to be a question, a hashtag Dear America question. All right. So I made a post over the weekend, and I love reading responses and having conversation about it. So my post, to put it in context, was basically talking about the boycotting and the banning that Chick-fil-A has received recently. You know, they've been banned out of certain airports. San Antonio was in it, now California and all this kind of stuff. California got a Chick-fil-A, and somebody said, make it the gayest Chick-fil-A ever. So I posted a tweet that basically said, I called it the Lord's Chicken, all right? You know,
it's basically true.
Yeah, and I said it takes a special kind of snowflake, safe space having person to be offended by a chicken sandwich.
No kidding.
All right, this is a response that I got, and this is the debate and the discussion that I want to open up. This was the response. This is my very first podcast. It says, Graham, look, I know you got to please your donors. What? Which I don't know what donors, what they mean by that.
I wish Chick-fil-A
donors is something
us.
for like charity, first of all. I think he meant sponsors. All right. But either way, let's be factual. He says, let's be factual correct. I'm assuming he meant let's be factually correct.
He's just typing too fast.
Yeah, man. He's really just putting it out there. He's so mad. All right. Let's be factually correct. Chick-fil-A has had anti-LGBTQ stances. All right. And so this is what I want to talk about. Okay. I want to talk about this. People believe that Chick-fil-A has anti-LGBTQ stances. Here's my argument. Hashtag Dear America. Let us know what you think. Is Chick-fil-A anti-gay?
False.
Is Chick-fil-A anti-LGBTQ? Here's what I'm going to say. First of all, and I responded to him and I said, everything you just said is not only wrong, it is culturally dishonest in everything that you're saying. And Alyssa even brought this up to me. She said,
oh gosh.
She said, well, are they or aren't they? And I said, Chick-fil-A, The business is not anti-LGBTQ. Name me one time that Chick-fil-A has denied selling chicken to a gay person, a transgender person. Name a time that they have gaydar detectors at the door.
Don't hire it.
Yeah. Name a time they hadn't hired somebody. Name it. The business of Chick-fil-A does not discriminate whatsoever. Now, the religious stances of the previous owner and the current leadership within Chick-fil-A right now, if you ask them religiously, what is their viewpoint on marriage? They're going to tell you, well, religiously, we believe that the sanctity of marriage is between a man and a woman. You are confusing personal religious views as the views of a company, and that makes you an idiot.
And and what you said, you hit it on the head. That makes complete sense.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't want to spend money because the money's going to this guy who's evil in their eyes.
But that's the point. They are proving that they are actually the one with prejudices because they're claiming that somebody else has prejudice against them. No, they don't. You actually have a prejudice against them for being a Christian, so you want to boycott their chicken because you think that because they're Christian, they don't agree with your sexuality religiously, that they're persecuting against you. No, they're not. You're a moron. Period. That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. I love Chick-fil-A. Last time they tried this, Chick-fil-A had record numbers in chicken sales and everything.
Chicken sales.
And I had a cheat meal yesterday, and yesterday was Sunday, and the only thing I wanted was, any guesses?
Chick-fil-A.
Of course, I always want it on
Every
Sunday.
Sunday, and I couldn't have my cheat meal. I had to go to Zaxby's. It's kind of depressing.
It's just the way that it goes, sweetheart. You want something until you can't have it. All right, Jake. What else we got going on?
Here's something that doesn't suck. In Florida, a fantastic morning as dozens of HCFR, it's local fire department personnel, and their family members turned out for Paint Your Heart Out, where they painted the home of an 89-year-old World War II vet and his wife,
amazing.
who happened to be blind. And these pictures are great. They showed up, painted his house and everything.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It's like, and all the bad stuff going on, we tend to forget about some of this other stuff.
There's good people in this world,
There's a lot of good people.
There's a lot more than people think. And the problem is, a lot of times, it's the good stuff that doesn't get any attention.
Yeah,
what we do
swarmed.
is we pay attention to the bad stuff. Alyssa, what's going on?
I was just going to caveat off of this.
Segue. We meant segue. She's trying to be funny now.
I am funny.
We should get a
Speak
segue
for
for The
yourself.
Office.
Oh, we should. That'd be awesome.
Oh, we should.
Anyway, just off of that, though, I met a friend. His name is Jacob, and he does the Helping a Hero. It's a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, this is good.
And we just, it's weird because we just met him, and they build homes for post 9/11 wounded veterans.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so anyway, but he was saying they have like plots of land and stuff all over the nation. Especially, I think there's one actually in Texas. And anyway, but they need soldiers. So I don't know. You have to look them up. But I think it's a
but
really
they're looking for names of people to build houses for. And so, like I said, check them
awesome.
out.
Yeah, Helping a Hero.
People that are doing good things don't get enough.
They really
stuff.
don't.
Yeah. And God bless those people. God bless people that want to help others. God bless people that want to help veterans. But let's move on to funny things, because I have a lot of things to talk about that I think are absolutely hilarious.
Let's do it.
All right, so you ready?
Ready.
Okay, over the weekend, Secret Service apprehended a man who tried to set himself on fire in protest outside the White House.
Oh my God.
That was awesome. What an idiot.
I hate you, Trump. I hate you so much, Trump.
I'm going to burn myself.
Wait, what?
How did he do it? Did he like light his pants?
How did he set himself on fire?
I'm just curious, did he douse himself in gasoline?
He lit himself on fire. Alyssa with the best question of the day. How did he set himself on fire?
I'm just curious, like how he went about it.
Yeah.
Did he start with his leg?
I want to say,
did they put him out?
That the last episode when Alyssa said their fingers, you need two things to have consent, and she said fingers.
Stop.
People flipped out.
Y'all, my church was writing me. Okay,
was so
sometimes
funny,
I'm
man.
put I just don't speak
Oh my gosh.
correctly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, how far down the brainwash tunnel do you have to be to literally
To light
set your?
yourself.
You know, that should be the Democratic leadership. Like, look at what you're doing.
That's a new low. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is.
Look at what you're doing to people.
You know
Was there
what?
any closure from it? Did
You
he
know
go
what?
to the hospital?
Oh, I don't know. It was so dumb. I didn't research it anymore.
Yeah.
I read all I needed to hear, or read all I needed to read.
Saw all you needed to
I
I
read.
like
saw
it.
all I needed
you make
to hear.
me look better, babe.
All I'm saying is that man knows something that we don't.
Apparently.
He's apparently smarter than all of us.
Yeah, that fire hurts.
All right, Jake, you got stuff because I've got a lot of things.
You keep going, man.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna roll with this. Okay, are you ready? Hey,
Ready.
here's another one. All right, Morehouse College. All right, all male Morehouse College will begin accepting not women in 2020, transgender men in 2020.
Oh. Hang on, wait.
Goodness.
Transgender men.
So women
So
that want to be
women-
men.
They
Yeah.
want to be men.
So why don't you just accept women? You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Well, that's
why does the
profiling.
first
You can't do
step?
that.
Why is the first step to integration that you
Yeah.
have to take? You're going to accept transgender men because we got to keep men in here.
Right.
No, we ain't taking no ladies at all. We ain't taking no women in this college. No, sir or ma'am. We're taking women that want to be men. That's the qualification. You got to be a dude to get in here. But
That's
they're
insane.
not dudes.
But they're not dudes.
They're
Spoiler
not
alert.
dudes. Spoiler alert. They're not dudes. All
Maybe
right.
they're gradually dipping their toe into accepting women.
Moving on to other ridiculous
I am offended
things.
by that.
You're offended by it? You should be.
Yeah, I'm a
Because they're
woman.
not taking women. They're not taking real women. They're taking men who just want to pretend they're girls in there. Graham, did you just say that transgender men aren't real men? Yes, I did, because they're not. Period. You're not. That's the way it is. All right, moving on to Hillary Clinton, because she always just is a plethora of knowledge for things. So this is in response to President's video about Omar. This is Hillary Clinton. Prepare yourselves. The president believes he is above the law. The president is wrong.
She did it. No, she didn't. Hush.
Hillary Clinton is calling
Hush.
somebody out for thinking that they're above the law. Are you kidding me? Look, man, if you work for the federal government and if you're anyone else and you accidentally send an encrypted email out that's not encrypted, you've not only lost your job, you're probably going to jail.
Oh, man.
Oh, for
This
sure.
chick is probably the most corrupt person in the history of the world.
His name was Seth Rich.
And the pure irony.
Did you hear someone ask her what TV show she compared her life to? And she said The Game of Thrones. She said, I think she said Khaleesi, actually.
Oh,
which
God.
really
Should've said
upset me
House of
because I
Cards.
like Khaleesi. Yeah, House of Cards.
House of Cards is.
All I'm saying is that I agree with her. The dragon plays her part perfectly on Game of Thrones. All right.
I like the dragons, though. I disagree.
So keeping it going, there's a lot of tabloids to go, and I want to make sure we get all of this here. So Illinois lawmakers are proposing a bill to split Chicago from the rest of Illinois.
what would it
Good.
become?
I bet you people from Illinois would.
It would
love that.
become its own country, probably. I mean, at this
Country?
point,
Its own country?
yeah.
Well, they are suing.
Make it
Jesse.
its own country, its
They are
own
suing.
place. Sell it to Canada. We don't need it. I'm being for real.
Chicago?
Yeah,
No,
Chicago's
that's my
awesome.
city.
Your city, you
I
lived
lived-
there for a year. That doesn't
well,
make it your
it
city.
became my city.
Have you paid attention to Chicago?
Yes, and it's very
Oh, my
sad, but it just needs
gosh.
help. It just needs a little
Yeah,
TLC.
at least Rom
And
and the
maybe
police
some-
department are suing
Thank
Jesse.
you.
Know,
Maybe
for,
some cleaning out.
Yes, it needs some cleaning out, but it is a
love.
gorgeous city, man. I
Yes.
love Chicago. It's
It's
just so
got-
unfortunate.
Whoopity do. It's a gorgeous city. It's producing
Moving on.
pain and poison and fear within the
The
rest of the
city's
world.
not.
All right. So talking about inciting violence,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So everyone knows that the Democratic Party is the party of violence, even though they try to make it seem like it's conservatives. So just on April 12th, Boston Globe writer urges waiters to tamper with the food of Republicans.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Basically saying, hold on, I did it. All right. So direct quote. As for the waiters out there, I'm not saying you should tamper with anyone's food, as that could get you in trouble, O'Neill wrote. You might lose your serving job, but you'd be serving America, and you won't have any regrets years later.
You're not going to have any
Yeah.
regrets losing your job?
No regrets.
Have you seen that video? It's a new show on CBS called The Good Fight or something like that. And there's a commercial where this guy is saying, like, he saw Richard Spencer talking, and why is punching somebody for their beliefs a good thing? And he's like, I started to believe that some things like Nazism or whatever is worth punching in the face. I'm like, sure, but that's not who they're talking about. They're talking about white people who voted for Trump. Those are Nazis. You know, they believe that if you vote for a racist, you are a racist. If you vote for a Nazi, you are a Nazi, which that's how they view Trump. So the inciting violence thing, they're trying to say MAGA hat, kids that wear MAGA hats, it's okay to punch them because they voted for this dictator, you know?
Yeah.
And that's inciting violence.
That makes perfect sense, right?
Well, don't punch me. I'm not very strong.
That makes perfect sense. All right.
I don't like pain.
Next funny tabloid, and then I want to do two discussion things that I'm really excited about to bring to the table. And they're going to be hashtag Dear America questions. But real quick, one last funny thing, and then we're going to get into the real final discussions of this podcast. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Transgender woman discovers gender identity after playing video games.
Wait, what?
What video games?
Wait, what?
I'd like to know what video games.
It doesn't say what video game.
Read that again.
But
Transgender
woman discovered. I can't. Gosh,
You got
it's
it,
Monday.
babe.
You're all right.
Transgender woman discovers gender identity after playing video games.
Man.
I don't even
Look, man.
understand that. I'm not a gamer though, so
This is America. This is America in 2019. Look, man, what good logical decision isn't made after you play a good round of Call of Duty? I'm just saying.
Grand Theft Auto.
Fortnite. It was probably Fortnite.
Yeah.
Let's just be for real. That makes the most sense. That person should run for president. I knew I was supposed to run for the leader of the free world after I stabbed a fairy in Fortnite.
I finally knew who I was.
I finally knew. All right.
Poor thing.
All right, so here we go. So this is going to be a hashtag Dear America question. So this morning, I love tweeting things that make people upset before we do the podcast because it gives us stuff to talk about. So this morning, I made a tweet basically stating that in America in 2019, where Christianity is trying to be pulled from everywhere, I'm a proud Christian, And then this person comments this, all right? Seriously, you can't be both. You cannot be a Christian and conservative. Christ would never condone conservative hatred and cowardice. Hatred is the basis of the conservative religion. Jesus spoke of love. The two religions are polar opposite. Hashtag Dear America, and I want to talk about this for a second. Hashtag Dear America is being a conservative. Can you be a conservative and a Christian at the same time?
Well, speaking as a conservative and a Christian, I say yes.
I mean, it's hard to take that serious. I mean,
show me a place. Okay.
Because can you be a Democrat and a Christian? Yes.
Of course.
I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
See, in my opinion, it would be a harder thing to push
yeah.
because the Democratic Party as a whole is the party of abortion. Mm-hmm. It's the party of same-sex marriages. It's the party of all this other stuff.
Taking religion out of
religions out of schools and all this other kind of stuff. And so I'm not saying that there's not Christian Democrats. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the majority of the party is for a lot of things that are anti-Christianity. Mm-hmm. Okay? So,
and again, you can have beliefs and you can still love. I mean,
right.
That's the whole point of the Chick-fil-A situation.
So me and this guy go on to bicker back and forth a little bit or debate, however you want to put it. And at some point he says that conservatives hate other religions or no, what does he say? Conservatives don't condone other religions. That's not Christian. Okay. So my question here today, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Okay. Is Jesus really pro other religions? Man, be for real. You want to talk about what? I'm pretty sure the Bible is very, very, very specific about
one of them commandments.
Yeah,
right?
You shall not worship false gods.
Have any other gods
I'm pretty
before
sure
me?
God and Muhammad are not that close.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you hear what you're saying?
What about Islam? Do they allow for other religions too? Absolutely
that's my point,
not.
Right? So
ask Ilhan.
As a church and as a Christian, are we supposed to love people that are, yes, you're right, but show me the place in the Bible where Jesus says, you know what, I know you worship another God, but come on in.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're all right.
That's not how it works.
We're not too strict up here.
The Bible is not about what you want it to be. There are certain things that are very, very straightforward. Plain and simple. So again, I say, hashtag Dear America, can you be a Christian and a conservative? I'm curious of what you think.
Well, that's what they believe. They believe that the right are racist, sexist, homophobic, all this kind of stuff. That, that's what they believe about Trump. With zero evidence, it's like, show me where all these evil, hatred people are. You can't just say something and it be true. It's, if there are instances of people being racist, people being whatever, like attacking a guy in Chicago at 3 o'clock in the winter vortex, show us those instances and we'll condemn them with you. We'll stand beside you and fight against bigotry, hatred, but they can't. They have to make it up to show how hateful people on the right are.
Yeah. Alyssa, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think I just said how I feel. I'm a conservative and I'm very much a Christian, so I completely disagree with that statement.
Well,
you can have, other people have different religions, yes, but that's the whole point. We live by our faith. That is how we live. You don't have to condone everything. We don't condone homosexual marriage. Just how we read the Bible.
Right.
That's how we translate it. But that doesn't mean we hate homosexuals. That's quite the opposite. Jesus, talked to prostitutes. He was for those people and wanted to be with those people. So we're the same way.
So let's bring some marital conversations out for the table for everybody to hear. Let's put it all out there. People say that they really love me and Alyssa airing it out a little bit. So let's air this out. One
I
of
have
the
not
biggest.
approved this.
No, she has not approved it at all. So just prepare yourself. So one of the biggest critiques, I guess is a good word that Alyssa gives me all the time, is as Christians, she comes at me and she says, do you think that you're being judging in what you're doing? Right. And so that's one of the biggest criticisms that I see online all the time. You're supposed to be a Christian. How can you judge anyone or anything? So I want to talk about that really quick, and then we're going to do something different at the end, and then we'll end this thing out. So there is a difference between judgment and discernment. Mm-hmm. Okay? All right. As Christians, we're supposed to be able to have the ability to discern against certain things. All right. What's right? What's wrong? What we should take a stand on? What we shouldn't, right? Isn't that in itself a judgment? Discernment leads you to making a decision about where you stand and what you think, right?
Absolutely.
So the thought process that Christians should not judge anything, in my opinion, is absolutely stupid. What the Bible actually says is we do not have the authority or the power to make judgments on the situation of someone's soul or their worth as an individual, right? Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? The Bible and God deals with the soul. Show me a place. Every single conversation Jesus ever had is not in the Bible. I have a hard time believing that Jesus didn't love people enough to go over to them. Man, I got to be honest, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Period. You don't need to ever say that again because I love you too much to let you walk around and be a dummy. You can't do that.
But again, you're kind of, I feel like it's the relational part of it. Like, you have to have relationship too.
But that's my point.
With most people.
You
can't just go around holding a street sign saying,
Google Planet X.
You can't say that people do dumb things as a Christian.
Oh, no, you can.
In my opinion, that makes you a better Christian because you love people enough to say, listen, this ain't the way that it's, no, this is wrong. It's not the way it's supposed to be, period. And that's,
but not everybody's like you. I feel like, our pastor's wife, Lindsay, made a really good point that you go about things this way and I go about things more this way. You still get to the same point. It's just two different ways of attacking an issue.
Okay. Yeah. To prove my point, and it's simple like this. I made the video about AOC calling out Dan on Friday. Mm-hmm. And someone said that AOC should have been aborted.
Ooh.
All right?
Yikes.
In the thing.
Ow.
And so I responded with, as a Christian, I completely disagree with this.
Yeah.
All right. I am anti-abortion in every sense of the word. Even people that grow up to be someone that I completely and fundamentally disagree with in every aspect of the word, every child deserves a chance to live, right? Period. Agreed. Case and point. So to end this out, as Christians, it is our job to set the example of what compassion and understanding are in relations to the soul and the worthiness of a person as an individual. To mix it up with, as Christians, we shouldn't have opinions about what people are doing because we're Christians, so you should basically just shut your mouth and go in the corner. That's not the way it is. And that is you pushing your own insecurities on Christians because you are not fundamentally sound enough in your own understandings to be comfortable, so you get offended and you get upset.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I'm getting the devil eyes that we ran super long. Hashtag Dear America. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Make sure to tell your friends. Make sure to subscribe and rate us. Thank you so much for joining us. Alyssa, where can they find you?
Alyssa, Ellisa, Allen, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Jake?
Find me on Instagram at producer_Jake.
And as always, I am Graham Allen on every single platform. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast, and we'll see you again next time.